Kimber Westphall with DallasNews.com, and we are learning about the art of brewing. We are in Farmers Branch at Three Nations Brewing Company, and we are here with the head coach and founder, Gavin Secchi. Thanks so much for having us out today.
Thank you for coming, Kimber.
Well, Gavin, I am learning that the art of brewing is much more scientific than I originally thought. Can you tell me what the most interesting thing that you learned about brewing when you first started about 10 years ago?
Well, I guess the first thing that I learned is that really anyone can make beer. It's not so much making beer that's the hard part, it's doing it consistently and also on a quality standard.
Well, why don't you put me to work here and at Three Nations, and you can give me the behind-the-scenes look at the art of brewing.
That sounds good.
And now we are at the mashing process. This is the Mashtun.
That is correct, Kimber, yes.
Okay, so what's going on in here?
So right now, we are resting at a certain temperature. What we do is we combine crushed grain with water, and that's something called a mash. So right now you see the mash spinning. And what's going on right now is the starches from the malt is being converted into sugars, and we're also kind of breaking down the proteins in the malt as well.
All right, so we're finished with the Mashtun. We are now at this vessel. What is this vessel called?
This one's called the Lautertun. What we do is we pump the mash from the Mashtun into the Lautertun, and really what this thing does, it leaves all the grain behind. So this is the reason you don't have grain in your glass of beer.
That is a good step, a very important step. And now we've arrived at the boiling process. Walk me through this one, Gavin.
Well, basically once we filled our kettle with our worts, it's about a 2 to 2.5 hour process. Then we start boiling it. Really what happens when you boil it is you sterilize the worts that we brewed. You also add melanoidins or colors to it. It gets a little bit darker. And then also this is kind of the most important part, one of the most important parts of brewing is you're adding your hops, especially with these pale ales and India pale ales. Gives it a nice bitter flavor and also a nice aroma to the beer.
In these tanks we have yeast waiting for the worts, and we also are adding oxygen as it gets pumped in here. The reason we do that is it kind of wakes the yeast up and tells the yeast it's ready to start eating. And so after we're done in our our cellar and aging and fermenting process, then we'll move our beer into our other tanks where we'll actually add the CO2 to carbonate it, and then it's ready to go into kegs and cans, and then we're out the door ready to go for consumption.
Gavin, thank you so much for having us out at Three Nations Brewing Company today. Let's see if our hard work paid off, and let's see how this tastes.
Cheers.
Cheers. That's very good. I think I might have found a new craft of brewing myself. Thanks so much.
Thank
This
you.
is Kimber Westphall with DallasNews.com.